The joys of fucking Canada. We're gonna go trip you guys. Ice, sorry, rain, ice, and now snow. And this is supposed to snow now for another full day tomorrow, which is going to be interesting. So I'm going to turn up the fan speed here a little bit, just because it's fairly cold. It's about 37.4 degrees right now, Fahrenheit. That's roughly -4, -5-ish, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm gonna open my window a little bit because I'm smoking. And nobody's speeding on the highway right now. Everyone's driving pretty lenient. I think I am gonna take the highway though. Give these tires a good try out. I got some fairly expensive studded tires on this car, brand new. So it's kind of another reason why I have to head to the city right now. Well, not the city, to the closest town. We're heading northbound right now. Most of the swell of the storm is northbound of here. Hey, you know what? I can kill two birds with one stone having my phone like this. Oof. Yeah, traction. It's just like driving through a Slurpee right now. Cool, and there's nobody behind me. Nice. So the wife didn't call in sick today. Called in a snow day. I didn't go to work today either due to the fact that I work about 45 minutes north of the direction I'm driving right now, and I didn't want to get stuck out on the Indian Reserve. And I'm kind of glad I stayed home today because this is bullshit. The highway seems pretty good. I'm only doing 90 kilometers an hour right now. So what is that, about 50 miles an hour? Holy shit. I don't know, these tires seem to be grabbing pretty good. The last tires I had on here weren't very hot. And they were summer tires, and they were a fatter tread on them. So you kind of wanted you to just float on top of everything when you drove through rain and slush and shit like that. He's driving very fast right now. It's kind of nice that people have already learned how to drive to the conditions, and we've only had 2 days of weather like this. Well, I can't even really say that we've had a day like this yet. This is the first of the big storms, and of course it had this frickin' rain first. So tonight this is going to be all ice. Which is, no, there's going to be a few accidents. Probably a few air ambulances. I don't know what people's problem is about driving in the winter. It happens every fucking year. You know, it's like riding a bicycle. You know, you put one foot on each pedal and you grab the handlebars and you ride. You know, I don't know why people have to relearn how to drive in shitty conditions like this. And then people, like I said, I got really good studded tires on here, but that doesn't mean shit. I'm still doing 90 kilometers an hour. I'm going to drive to the road conditions. Why? Because I don't want to hurt anybody else either. I don't want to spin out in front of somebody, give them some type of anxiety. You know, I probably have enough anxiety in me already right now, but you know, I'm not sweating balls or anything right now trying to drive through here. Just Drive to what you feel is comfortable. Yeah, you don't want to drive uncomfortably. Me and the wife were talking about making up some t-shirts and stuff too. I have a couple ideas for some uncomfortable wear. Lots of chunks coming off of semis. Fuck, I'm not even gonna roll the window down. I'm just gonna ash on myself. So I'm gonna run to the bank so I can put a payment on these wonderful studded tires I have. I believe they're Bridgestone Winter X, Winter Comp X, I think maybe. Even on dry pavement, those tires kick ass. Who do we got going on? There's Buck Brown. Are you pretty happy you don't get to see this shit, bud? Fuck, it's horrible. And it's gonna get worse. Oh, somebody smoked a deer last night. Wow, somebody's not getting a buck. But oh, you see what I did there? A buck. It's hunting season up here right now. Well, it's been hunting season for a while, but you can actually use anything besides like gunpowder loads and crossbow and bow and arrow. And I'm gonna take this exit. Yeah, I'm gonna take this exit. There's another exit that can save you like a minute if I go up a little bit farther, but I'm only gonna take this because it's probably a better road taken than the golf course road. If there wasn't so many cars here, I would have tried to push these tires to the limit there around that bend. See, everyone's driving pretty good to the road conditions. Once they get around this bend, I'll try and read the comments. Yeah, I'm just gonna take my time. No point being in a freaking hurry. Oh, I'll have to wait for a second or a minute or two before I can read those comments. People, Portage La Prairie, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Winnipeg, Manitoba, 202 kilometers. Manitoba's capital, Winnipeg, or as a lot of people around here call it, Winterpeg or Murderpeg. Winnipeg used to be the murder capital of all of Canada, and then Toronto beat us out last year. But Winnipeg was a close second. Actually, no, I think, is it Thunder Bay or Sudbury? One of those two places might have been number one. Tolga is in the house. I will be right with you guys in the commentaries. Just, I don't want to take my eyes off the road and end up in the ditch. And looky, they finally put the plows on. Fuck, they must have done that this morning. I drove past the Highway Works plant where they store these vehicles, and they, oh, ready for this? Those blades were not on those trucks yesterday. They were just sitting on the frickin' ground. And they knew it was coming. Like, holy shit. Now, probably this morning they're rushing around like with their fucking heads are chopped off like chickens. Like, oh, we need to put the blades on. Well, you could have had the blades on this whole frickin' time. Like, it's the middle of November. Normally we have this by now. Like, we are very fortunate right now to finally be getting a heavy final snow. Like, this stuff's gonna stick. Well, at least I think so. And with this ice on the road, the ground's not gonna fully freeze right now. It's gonna set an insulated layer, which we had last year, a really bad issue with the ground not freezing. You could dig 16 inches and the ground was still soft underneath, which was absolutely unreal. Anyone building houses and stuff like that last winter, anyone doing the excavator work to do the basements, they were just happier than a pig in shit. Like, oh shit, the frost is only like 16 inches deep. Well, let's fucking do these basements now. Yeah, do it. Oh, here's my drink. Ugh. I was gonna have a camera a little bit closer to me. I think I just like that view better. Welcome to the town of Minnedosa. Population, I don't know, maybe like 13,000. There's a high school, there's a grade school, there's a hospital here. The only problem is on weekends, we are so short-staffed of ER doctors and medical staff right now that if, say, you cut your finger off on the weekend, well, you should have done it on a Monday, they'll tell you. Shit. Yeah, I'm gonna go do this bank stuff first now. Oh, these tires got some pretty good traction. A little bit of slippage there. You can hear the studs start grabbing. Jesus, what? Jesus, take the wheel, you mean? Allah Akbar. Allah Akbar. God is great. It's funny how that kind of turned into a derogatory thing now. Certain words, certain phrases. Like, did anyone know that Allah Akbar means God is great? But just because terrorists use it as a war cry. Well, not just terrorists, fucking a lot of Muslim and Arab countries. Look, it doesn't even look like the bank's open. Okay, let's get into the comments here. 2-4's in here. Everyone's saying hi. Toga. Penelope. What's a penelope? Is it like a jackalope? Oh, up in Wisconsin, yeah. Yeah, like New York State's gotta suck right now too. You should see the size of this storm on the satellite imagery. Is pretty wicked. Yeah, everything happens for a reason. Sorry, I'm still here. Josh Harris. Oh. Damn, eh? I don't know, sometimes you just know, like, something bad's gonna happen, you know? It's kind of unfortunate. Like, when my buddy Ron died, I knew, but you know what, he had some major heart problems and stuff like that. Like, before I go on in the bank, here's a story. My buddy Krzysztof, he was from Poland. He had hitchhiked across all of Africa, all of Eastern Europe, all of Western Europe, hadn't done Australia yet, and then he had come to Canada. And he was hitchhiking. Eventually somebody gave him a bicycle, so then he'd get from point to point on a bicycle, which he really loved because that's what he did in Europe. He did Africa on a bicycle. He did Western Europe on a bicycle. And he came up here, did all of Canada, and he stayed with me for about a week. And he was talking about going down through Washington State. And this is when Russia had just recently got kicked out of the G7, and now it's called the G6. And what was that for? Navalny? No, it wasn't because of Navalny. Oh, was it? It might have been the first kind of. Oh, it was the annex of Crimea. That's why they got kicked out of the G7. So the tensions were quite high here in Canada and the US about Russia. And Khrushchev kept saying, I'm going to go start down through Washington, and I'll zig back and up, and I'll come see you again when I get to like North Dakota. I'll come back up into Canada. And I said, dude, they're not going to let you across the border in Washington State right now. And he's like, why? I'm like, and we're sitting in a bar right now in the smoking area, having a beer, having a smoke, and I'm like, because you sound Russian. He's like, no, but I'm Polish. I'm like, yes, I know you're Polish, but you sound Russian. And there's a big thing happening between Russia and the United States and the rest of the world right now, and Ukraine. They're not going to let you in. And he's like, well, this is bullshit. I was like, yeah. This lady comes outside into the smoking area, and we're talking, and she just gives him this scowl. What? Are you Russian? I just looked at Christoph. I was like, told you, bud. Go to Alaska first. They'll let you up into Alaska, man. And especially with the documentation, and he carried a lot of documentation with him showing like this is what he's doing. He's just a documentary filmmaker who is traveling the world with 2 feet and a heartbeat. So finally he got up into Alaska. He came back down, stayed with me for another week, and then he had no problems after that getting into Washington State. And then he decided he was going to go down to South America. He wanted to go right to the end of South America, right at that little point there. I'm in Quebec at this time. Still stay in contact with him. I'm outside feeding my ducks along one of, I think it was the little Laurier River. Can't remember the name of the river. And this trail that's along this river is older than what's his name? Who discovered America? What's his name? I can't fucking remember right now. But these trails are thousands of years old. The natives used these trails before even the white man had come there. So there's a lot of history on these trails where this river is. I'm feeding my ducks, and what skims about 4 feet off the water, straight down the river, is a hawk with a snake in its mouth. Does anyone see the significance of a hawk with a snake in its mouth? Maybe more of you Americans would click in, but you probably don't even remember how many stars are on your flag. No offense, but I'm talking about Mexico. That hawk had the snake still alive in its mouth, just like the Mexican flag. The next day, I got a phone call. Christoph was dead. They murdered him in Chalupa? Choppa? C-H-U-P-P-A. Chupa. He was killed there. They cut his hands off. They cut his feet off. They shot him in the head 3 times and then decided to cut his head off. Yeah, I know. The way things are going on in the world right now, it's going to get a lot harder to travel. And then, with what's going on in the world, do you want to travel? Like, you can't account for the other crazies that are out there that are going to be on your plane, you know, trying to open the emergency exit door when you're 20,000 feet in the air. I don't know. But here, I'm going to put you guys back to, here's the war memorial for Vimy Ridge. There's the war memorial. Right there. That's our Vimy Ridge War Memorial. Vimy Ridge, Korean War, Kosovo, Sarajevo, Vietnam. It's not just Vimy Ridge, it's for all. Why though? What, you talking about the world? Here, I will be right back. I gotta go pay this bill. And I gotta turn the car off because there's been 2 cars stolen in town in the last 4 days. I will be right back. Oh, should probably take my debit card in. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so a little bit of an issue. I gotta run to the insurance broker. What I love about this town is everything's on this road. When did they do those horrible things to him? What year would that have been? Trying to think. I've been here for 7 years. Be about 8 years ago. I will put up a link to a couple of his videos if I can find him right now. It's kind of the only legacy he has left. And maybe I should tell some more Christoph stories since he's not around to tell them anymore. So yeah, I should probably do some Christoph stories. I will also put some links up into... He was famous in Poland for hitchhiking. The reason he was killed in Mexico is he was riding with a Guinness World Record holder, and he had completed Africa on a bicycle in the fastest time, traveling through every country in Africa. I can't remember what the time he had was, but the reason they cut his hands and his feet off is because they were trying to get money from this German fella. And sorry, not to sound like disrespectful or anything, but if it wasn't for that German fella, which I kind of resent, I know he's dead and I shouldn't resent him, but if Christoph would have just made that choice, you know, to not go with this guy, yes, good good to have somebody with you when you're traveling and stuff, but not somebody who has money, because money will get you killed in third world countries. So they ended up cutting the German fella's feet off. Well, no, they began to cut his feet off, and he must have escaped because of his defensive wounds. And then he was found with a gun wound to his back and then 3 bullets to the head. And where they were killed is known for a training ground for the cartel members, like killing grounds. This is where they teach you how to torture and get information and stuff like that. So you have like 13, 14-year-old kids sitting there hacking people up just for no reason, just because they can and they can get away with it. And now you train these people at a young age to have no fear and to, like hacking up a body. It's a little bit different than hacking up a deer. You're gonna have it's a little too familiar, and it's gonna take that familiarity away from them, which is really sad, because a lot of these kids, they have no choice, especially living around cartels. When you grow up around it, if you want to make money or you want to be able to survive instead of constantly struggle, it's either the cartel or what? Move to America? Okay, well, I'm gonna go run in here. I will be right back. I gotta go just double check and make sure there's no extra fees, because I have exactly enough in my bank account to take care of a tire payment. And yes, you can buy tires through your insurance company. Oh my goodness. Wow. These insurance companies are fucked up. Yeah, eh? Yeah. They didn't win, so they're gonna try and stir up that shit pot as much as they can before they're out of office. Exactly. You're totally right, Tolga. And look at Bitcoin now. What's Bitcoin up to? It went from like $64,000 a coin to 86,000 dollars a coin just as soon as Trump won that election. Oh, well, unfortunately, I have to leave and make a phone call because I have to make sure that money is going to properly get transferred from my bank, from this bank to my bank in time for a payment tomorrow. And yeah, I don't want to have these extra fees. Fucking welcome to Mexico. One of my guys in Mexico came back. I'm like, where's Jose? Jose was caught opening packages. Wow, there's another person gone in Mexico. At least I still got Juan. Juan's pretty good. And then I haven't been able to talk to my bodyguard in Mexico in quite a while. The time is 4:20. So I have some limited time here to make this phone call. But I will be back momentarily and show you what this storm is really getting into now. But I'm really sorry I gotta take off. These phone calls are a little bit more important right now than some other shit. Well, this shit, sorry. But I will be back momentarily. Okay, peace out, you guys. Walk, 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 walk.